Between hope and heartache. The love that refused to break. In the quiet spaces between the extraordinary and the everyday, sometimes a story unfolds that clings to your heart like a whispered promise. This is one such story, of James and Dype, two souls brought together by fate, tested by illness, and held together by a love that refused to yield. They met by chance, or perhaps by destiny, when their lives were already frayed by past scars. Healing had only just begun. Their laughter started to sound less like survival and more like joy. But fate, ever unpredictable, turned the page too soon. Dype was diagnosed with a rare, life-threatening illness, one that offered no time for delay, no margin for error. Would James, torn between familial obligations and the terrifying weight of financial sacrifice, dare to fight for the life of the woman he loved? A bittersweet discharge, a difficult road ahead. After endless days of waiting, Dype was finally discharged from the hospital. But relief came laced with sorrow. The country's hospitals lacked the specialized facilities needed to treat her rare condition. Her fight wasn't over, it was only just beginning. James arrived in person to take her home, and though he wore a calm face, his heart was caught in a whirlwind of emotions: fear, tenderness, guilt, and hope. Earlier that morning, he'd asked his mother to prepare a little farmhouse on Dype's rural land. Though she had once lived a simple life there, James wanted to transform that space into a sanctuary of healing. His mother, graceful, warm, and deeply intuitive, didn't hesitate. Despite her affluent life, she rolled up her sleeves. She fed the animals, swept every dusty corner, polished window panes, and filled the home with the kind of love only a mother could give. She even visited the market herself, handpicking fruits and vegetables, preparing a heartfelt meal, modest, but full of soul. That house glowed not just with sunlight, but with quiet devotion, a gentle detour. Healing begins with dignity. James didn't take Dype straight home. Instead, he gently led her to a small boutique on the edge of the city, a warm, softly lit place lined with graceful dresses and delicate scarves. "Before we go home," he said, "let's start fresh. Something new, for you. Everything's going to be all right." Dype hesitated. "I don't need anything," she said softly. "I just want to go home." "You'll only end up spending more," James didn't argue. He simply held her hand, looked into her weary eyes, and replied, "Don't worry about the money. You've carried this weight alone for too long. Let me take care of you now. That's all I want." His words wrapped around her like a warm scarf on a cold night. For the first time in a long time, Dype let herself feel safe. James picked out a beige sweater, a floral dress, and a white scarf, to protect the voice he loved hearing most. When she left the shop, she wasn't smiling because of the things she held, but because of the hand she held. A table set for love. As they arrived at the farmhouse, the sun spilled golden light over the clean roof and the rows of trees, bathing the place in an almost holy glow. The scent of home-cooked food drifted through the air: vegetable soup, braised fish, even fried eggs, a dish James had mentioned she loved. A small vase of fresh chrysanthemums stood at the center of the table. For Dype, who had long known only silence and solitude, the moment was overwhelming. Her eyes welled with tears. She had never been welcomed like this. Never been loved like this. James's mother stepped out, wiping her hands on her apron, and smiled. "You're home, dear." "Wash your hands and come eat." Everything still warm. That night, under a soft yellow light, the three of them shared a humble but love-filled dinner. It wasn't extravagant, but it was everything. It was family, the quiet watch of love. Dype, still frail, could only manage a few spoonfuls of rice before fatigue took over. James rose gently and helped her into the small bedroom. He pulled a light blanket over her, brushed her hair back, and whispered, "Get some rest." "I'll be with Mom." In the kitchen, the warmth lingered. James's mother, cleaning up the dishes, glanced at her son. "She still looks so fragile," she said quietly, searching his face for the truth. But James simply nodded, holding back the full weight of his worry. "She's like a daughter to me now," his mother said softly. Her words struck James deeply. He hadn't yet told her that Dype's condition was worsening, and that her only hope was treatment overseas. Sooner or later, he'd have to. A reckoning at the gate. Later that night, a car pulled up. Dung stepped out, the man who had once loved Dype in silence. His expression was dark, and he went straight to James without a greeting. "I heard she's seriously ill," he said bluntly. "Did you really let it get this far?" James offered no defense, only silence and guilt. Dung's voice cracked with emotion. "I thought you were the one who'd protect her. But look at her now. You didn't even notice the signs." "You didn't act in time." Without waiting for a response, Dung went inside and stood by Dype's bedside. She looked more fragile than he had ever seen her. He didn't touch her, didn't speak. Just stood still, swallowing grief. Outside again, Dung faced James one last time. "If you don't take care of her, I'll come back, and I won't let her go again." Love in the stillness. After Dung left, the night settled into silence. James walked slowly into the room. Dipe slept soundly, her face calm under the golden lamplight. He sat beside her, took her hand into his, and watched over her. He didn't speak. He didn't cry. But in that stillness, his love spoke louder than anything else. Whether this love can conquer the cruelty of fate remains to be seen. But in that moment, James made a silent promise, to fight, to protect, to stay.